All right, how you guys doing tonight, today, what have you? I'm making this video on this 2008 Suzuki Hayabusa. Modification it has is a '08 Gixxer 1000 tail section. The problem we're running into is this is a customer's bike of mine, and the problem he's running into is the bike is shutting off periodically, and there can be a couple things, but when it cuts off and trips off your FI light and starts blinking, that's pretty much indicative to pretty much one deal that I can, from my experience, and that's going to be the tip over switch. And on the 2008 Hayabusa, the tip over switch is usually located, I believe, behind the battery or in front of the battery, but it should be mounted straight up and down so that whenever the bike tilts to one side, it completes that circuit and kills the bike. What's happening is when they put on this extra 2008 tail section, did not have a mounting spot for the tip over switch, and this is the switch right here, just kind of laying in here flopping around, and that should never be the case. I don't know if you can read it right there, but it says upper. It should be mounted somewhere to where that upper, that arrow is pointing up at a stable location that is not moving around, to give you a false activation of this switch. Alright, this switch right there where it says upper, I don't know if you can read it or not, right there, should be mounted in an upright position that doesn't move, tightly secured, so that when your bike falls over to either side, it'll complete that connection and cut the bike off. Since this bike doesn't have a mounting location, the only two options we had was to either fabricate a bracket for it or either bypass it. Being that he uses this bike primarily at the drag strip and things of that nature, I recommend to him to go ahead and bypass it. To bypass it, I've heard different stories on different size capacitors to use in order to get the correct, I said capacitors, I mean resistor, correct resistor used in order to get the switch to bypass. I've heard 150 ohm and I've heard 65 ohm. I wasn't really sure, so what I did was I just got one that was kind of in the middle, and that was a 100 ohm resistor, which is going to look like this from Radio Shack, and that's 100 ohm, half watt, 5% resistor. Alright, only tools you're going to need to do this modification is your Allen wrenches to take off your seat, and whatever else tools you may need to get to your actual switch. I don't know if some people may have, power commanders or other things in the way, so just whatever you're going to need to get to your switch. So it's not too technical or anything like this, but if you think it may be a little bit too much for you, you may want to get with a guy that works on motorcycles. I will tell you that it is not recommended to bypass your tip over switch on a street bike. Reason being, if you were to fall off and the bike fall on its side, it could keep going. And I've actually heard of stories where the bike did keep going and like turning circles in somebody's front yard. And that's probably not going to be good for you or the motorcycle. So again, not recommended for daily rider, street use motorcycle. But I'm going to walk you through how to bypass it, and let's get started. Alright, before I get started on actually bypassing it, let me show you what the actual tip over switch does. I have to sit the camera down here to start it. Alright, bike is running. All of a sudden you fall to your right side or brake side. Once it goes over to the side, that's what it does. It cuts the bike off. Alright, once it cuts the bike off, you're going to get your FI light blinking and the FI on the bottom down there. It shouldn't kick off a code. If it kicks off a code, then you have another problem, and that way you would need to put the bike in dealer mode and figure out what the code is. But for the most part, this is indicative of tip over switch going off, or either the other second thing it could be kickstand came down. So you can test that kickstand switch out pretty regular. You can also bypass it. I'll probably make a video on that one day also. It's fairly simple, but we're working on the tip over switch tonight. So alright, first thing you want to do is that little tab right there. You're going to have to lift that up and pull out. See if I can do it with one hand. It may get lucky, maybe not. We'll see here. I don't think I am, so let me. Alright, got it removed. This is what your plug's gonna look like, and this is what your switch is gonna look like. I don't know if you can hear that little rattle. I believe it's a ball bearing in there between two circuits, and if it goes to either side, that ball bearing goes over to that circuit and completes it. Alright, as you can see here, you have 3 wires going to this connection. What you want to do is get your resistors, and you want to fold them over, and you want to put one of you. It's going to require 2 to do this bypass. And what you want to do is fold it over, put one end on the left end and the other end of that left end into the center, and then you want to do the same thing for the right end. Put one end of the second resistor in the right end, and then the other end in the center. Alright, and let's do that. I'm gonna have to cut the video off while I do that, but hold on just a second. Alright, this is what it should look like. I don't know if you can see that, but I got the resistor that's in the back and the right side of the switch, and the other end into the middle side of the switch. Same thing with the left side, and the left side of the switch, and the other side, and the middle side of the switch. The wires on the end should not be touching the opposite end of the wire. It's okay if it's touching in the middle, because both of those are going in the same hole. Alright, once you get it like that, go ahead and test it out. Good sign. Now, no matter what you do, show you that it is the switch that's bypassed and not anything else. Let's go ahead and pull one of the resistors out and see what you get. Bite cut off. Alright. Now that you see what to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip them down a little bit and make them closer. Make them closer to the plug. Then I'm going to put some just regular silicone down in there. That way I can get it out and replace the tip over switch if he ever decides to make it a street bike again, I'm sorry, and ride it on the street primarily. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and silicone it and tape it up pretty good and show you the end result, and then that'll conclude this video. If you like it, subscribe. If it helped you, subscribe, hit like. More videos to come. Let me know what you think. Alright, this is what it looks like once I got everything all trimmed up. Going for that low profile look. Now I'm going to place some tape around it to act as a guide for my silicone. Alright, I just placed the tape around it. All I did is went halfway around the top. I left half of it open, or halfway around the bottom, and half of it open around the top. So that way it creates the effect. So when I put the silicone down in here, it's going to pretty much serve the purpose of a dust cover and a cap. I'm going to fill this whole area up right here with silicone. Alright, this is what it looks like once I put all the silicone in and I remove the tape. I only removed the tape to show you what it's going to look like. All of this, I don't know if you can see it, that white area at the top, all of that silicone. The tape just kind of acted as a barrier or frame, so to speak, so that the silicone can make the little plug like you see here. So you can leave it like that, but I'm going to tape it back up just to make sure that no debris or anything like that, if this piece of silicone ever fell off or anything like that. So just for added safety. In the future, I'm going to also give him back his tip over switch in the future if he decides, like I stated before, to put it back on. All you have to do is just pull this plug off. It'll come off fairly easy. If there's any silicone or anything like that left in any of the hose, you can get that out with some tweezers or something of that nature. And that's it. Go test this out. And I think that's going to fix it. Like I stated before, hope this helps somebody. Subscribe to my videos, thumbs up to my videos. I'm sure it's going to help somebody. Thanks for watching.